Welcome to another episode of Rox TV's ROXCast.
We're back again.
Back just like the real Slim Shady.
Please stand up.
Guess who's back?
Oh. Right, that one.
Yeah. No. Welcome to the ROXCast, a bi-weekly podcast brought to you by Rox Music Academy and Rox Studios. All things Rox, all things music. That's what this podcast is about and what it will stay like. You're going to get some new music, some new and local music, some local and new music.
We're going to put that in 3D.
Whoa!
I really hope we can now.
I don't think that's going to happen.
I don't think we got the budget. We're going to have that cheap 3D where it's like blue and red.
Blue and red. No, we don't want that. We don't want Spy Kids 3D. We want
Spy Kids
Avatar 3D. Today, we're going to be talking to you about some music news about Katy Perry. We're going to be listening to some new bands, and we're going to be talking about The Lion King of all things. But for now, we've got a little bit of housekeeping to do. We've got an apology to make.
Sorry, guys.
Our bi-weekly podcast has missed a week.
Sorry.
Been off kilter, and it's bad. It's our fault completely, and we're sorry to disappoint you.
We've been a little busy.
Doing stuff. We can't make excuses. We've missed.
It's his fault.
It's definitely his fault.
It's your fault.
No, I rescind all responsibility, as I do with most of my adult life.
Onto me?
No.
Oh.
Just reject it completely.
Oh, cool. All right.
I'm not an adult. Put me in a pillow fort with some potato smiley faces.
And jam?
And not jam. What are you eating jam with your potato smiley faces?
For some reason, I feel like that'd be a really good combination.
No.
I think that's a good idea.
No.
If you're at home watching this and you've got those two things, which I don't know why you got those two things, but just put them together. Let's see what happens.
Turkey Twizzlers, that's what they need to bring back. Bloody Jamie Oliver.
It's your fault, Jamie Oliver.
Jamie.
We know you're watching.
Jamie, if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to us on iTunes or Spotify, where you can find our podcast,
which we know you are,
which we know you are, because Jamie is a very avid listener. It's your fault, Jamie. We blame you. We know that they were bad for us, but Turkey Twizzlers was also...
Bring them back!
Bring them back. Bring them back. Hashtag bring them back. But for now, in moving on swiftly away from Turkey Twizzlers and Jamie Oliver, the travesty that was his school dinners campaign... It's a bit of context. It's a bit of story for us. We need to talk about Katy Perry because she's been in the news recently. More specifically, her team of writers have been they've been sued recently.
Yeah, she's done a bit of a naughty, hasn't she? Well, actually, I don't really know.
We kind of discussing if she has been, because her writer team have been sued by a man called Flame. AKA Mr. Marcus Gray, who is a Christian rapper, and he's come along and said, "Now, Katy Perry, you've been naughty."
Yeah, he's been in trouble. Well, no, he's had a go at her, isn't he?
Yeah, so he's come along and said that, Katy Perry, you've stolen a little riff that was in my song Joyful Noise / Joyful Joy /
Joyful Song.
Joyful Song. Let us know in the comments what it is, because I can't remember. And he said... That's out of my song. You need to pay me 2.3 million. I think he's been awarded.
Now the beat is fairly similar. There is some things that are kind of, I don't know.
Well, we've listened to them, haven't we? And the main crux of the song is the little hook, which is in Dark Horse by Katy Perry. And there's also there's a similar kind of riff that happens in Flame song that goes a little bit similar, which kind of begs the question: Can you copyright a load of notes?
No, I don't think so. I think didn't like back in like 2013 or something. Didn't Taylor Swift like copyright
No,
that sick beat or something?
Oh, well, I don't know. There's been a few instances of this. One of the more famous ones was Ed Sheeran was sued by Matt Cardle, who won X Factor a while ago, and he sued him because there was a very similar kind of riff and hook. I mean, when you listen to the Matt Cardle song versus the Ed Sheeran song, there is a pretty big kind of similarity to the point where we had to they had to kind of go, yeah, fair enough. We didn't steal it directly, but we can see how it kind of makes sense.
I think that the whole you can't. I agree. I don't think you can copyright notes. I think that if you're using a minor scale in a certain key, or a major scale in a certain key, or whatever it may be, I think that's just music.
Absolutely.
There's only certain factual math.
Well, yeah. I mean, the fact that Western music is limited to 12 notes,
at best, really.
C to C, with all the sharps and flats in between, then you can only put those together in a certain number of ways.
Yeah,
at a certain speed, at a certain time, in a certain key and stuff like that. So when you look at people who sue each other for taking a hook and put it in a different part of the song. So the thing is with this Katy Perry situation is I think it's unfair because when you actually break down the song musically, the music expert that they brought in has awarded and helps award the Christian rapper Flame of something like 2.3 million in damages.
Oh, so it's actually been won.
Yeah. So he's sued and won the case, which I think it's
that is crazy. Actually,
it's because when you break it down, not just from a musical standpoint, but when you break it down in terms of kind of a legal / moral kind of perspective, it's a case of we know that this is. Well, no, actually, it's more from a music point of view. Is that there's only one kind of similarity, and when you run that through the course of both the two songs, that's the only thing that's joining these two together. Whereas the Matt Cardle / Ed Sheeran case, there was a lot of contributing factors, which meant that a lot of the songs sounded very similar. So I can understand where they came, because Ed Sheeran had a similar kind of thing with Marvin Gaye's estate.
Yeah, that was with that really famous tune, wasn't it? That he did back in a couple of years back.
I can't necessarily remember, but the crux of the argument is: can you copyright a section of a musical idea, if you like? Can you claim that you have ownership of a way certain notes and certain phrases appear?
No, I don't think so. I think if you're doing something no, I can't think of any sort of scenario where that's kind of okay. Well, because the thing is if you did plenty of people have made good pop melodies out of the melody of the alphabet song and like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and stuff.
Well, it goes a little bit further. I mean, can you say that you can't use a certain key in a certain time?
And here's the thing, we hear music daily.
Yeah.
It's in our subconscious.
Yeah.
How are we meant to how are we meant to write something completely fresh and new is beyond me.
Well, that's it. If you do look at Ed Sheeran is, as a case in point, not to say that he rips anyone off, but he's very good at taking existing musical ideas and changing them to a point where they're still familiar yet different. So when you look at Shape of You, how everyone compares that to TLC's No Scrubs.
Right.
I don't want no scrubs.
Yeah, it is very kind of similar.
There's some similar kind of musical elements. So people know it's familiar, so they go, oh, I like this because I've heard this before. They might not be thinking that actively, but their subconscious is going, this is familiar, I like this.
Yeah.
And hence why that song does so well. So does that mean TLC can come along and go, Mr. Ed Sheeran, I want to cut that pie because that was a really good selling song? You have to kind of wonder why it's taken so long. Dark Horse has been out and about since what, 2013?
I think it's been around that mark, innit? Maybe 2010, maybe.
And it might just be a case that it's been going on for a while, and it's just only now kind of come to fruition or come to the end of it. But it does kind of beg the question, like what can you do to prevent that? At the end of the day, music is finite. No one.
It's
really
subjective, man. Like I don't think you can. I think like. How would anybody write anything new? You can literally sit there and pick out like the notes that people are choosing nowadays. Like you take like someone like Post Malone, who's also great at writing melodies, or Ed Sheeran or Billie Eilish, or all these people, and you could probably be like, well, that's the same note and key of this tune. It's like, how can you? I was gonna say that's not how it kind of works. But then if the lyrics were the same, same structure, same, like, let's say if I did Bohemian Rhapsody but called it Bohemian Rhapsody, like, and it was near enough the same, changing a few lyrics here and there. All right, that's dodgy.
Yeah, if I did a song called
Cheat Mild of Wine, people would be like, well, yeah.
That was just so you didn't know what that was. But the bass thing was different.
Well, I'd still say that's a rip-off, because you do have the other side of the argument where, because Led Zeppelin were famously taken to court by a band, a rather unknown band compared to Led Zeppelin, for the riff for Stairway to Heaven. That whole that whole kind of finger-picking kind of thing.
I remember that One Direction got called out a few times as well.
I think everyone's been called out at some point in their life. But
this is the thing. This is the thing. If you're like driving, like let's say you've been at the studio all day. You're in this like famous band, whatever, like let's say One Direction or something, and you're like, cool, I got to do vocals tomorrow. Like we'll drive home. I'm on the drive home, and you're kind of hearing a tune. Like you're not actively making that conscious decision. Oh, that sounds cool. I'll do that.
Yeah.
But like if you go to the studio the next day and see, and it's like, oh, this is a good idea. Like that's not copying.
It's about what's going on.
Music's in people's lives daily. How are you meant to avoid like 100%. Not choosing similar notes?
Yeah, 100%. And it is also to do with, in terms of the musicality as well, like what chords and stuff are going under, your tempo, your phrase.
Yeah, totally. I think those things you should be aware of. I think, but like. How are you literally? Are you meant to know every single song?
No, I think it's more. I think it's more to do with, as well as it's also about the reach of the song that you're supposedly copying. The Matt Cardle and Ed Sheeran situation.
That was a big deal.
Well, it was.
He was doing well at the time.
Well, not only that, I think they came into contact and started writing a song together. I could be wrong on that. Please let me know in the comments if I am.
So that's the thing. If it's something like that, then you kind of have. Even if you didn't, your hands are kind of tied.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like you might not have actively gone, I'm nicking that idea, but
that's what they're saying about this Marcus Garry dude, is that apparently like there is some sort of connection there with him and Katy Perry.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure on the actual connection between the two, but there's argument that Katy Perry came across him in that kind of space. She's apparently been active in the Christian music scene as well as all that kind of stuff. So whereas, but it's not Katy Perry herself who has been sued. It's the writers who, as far as people are aware, wouldn't really have crossed over to that scene anyway, because they're very much more pop and R&B focused. Yeah. So it is. I mean, at the end of the day, the courts, the jury's out. People, the award and whatever's happened, but you gotta kind of go. You gotta kind of ponder the fairness of the situation.
I don't know about that.
Please let us know your take on this. At the end of the day, it's a very open discussion. Can you copyright a piece of music? Of course you can copyright a piece of music, but can you copyright a music idea? What constitutes that? Is it a riff? Is it a riff with the chords, your melody, your vocals? Obviously, if someone comes along and goes, I'm going to write a song and it's going to go, I'm just a big boy, somebody love me. No, he's a big boy, don't love him, definitely. That was straight off the top of my head.
Did you dig deep there? That's like
what are you trying to say?
I'm not saying anything, bro.
It sounds like you're insinuating that.
But like, I just saw a tear.
Yeah, something. But I just wrote that song. But I'd get sued by all the living members of Queen.
I mean,
because it's
that one's pretty reasonable. But I think like I think you're right. I think that it's incredibly. You can't. There's only so. Even if you did something crazy, like different, there's only so much math and actual notes and note values and tempos and time signatures and keys.
Yeah, there's only a finite combination. So it's
really hard to write a pop tune in like 7/4.
Well, that's it. Like in
I'm sure there is one.
In the days where nearly everything is a sample, it's hard to.
Exactly.
I suppose it's also more about like making sure that the correct people are credited. Like if you do use a sample, obviously you've got to make sure that whoever you've sampled that off is credited, as well as their whole.
Didn't something happen with Will Smith?
When you look at Will Smith's actual back catalogue, you do realise very quickly that a lot of it is just a sample.
One of the most famous songs ever in rap is Eminem's. What's that song? I said it's so famous, but I can't remember titles for the life of me. There. Hi, my name is. That's what it is. Yep. That the instrumental of that, isn't it? It's actually another tune, isn't it?
Well, yeah. So it's been
that's a sample. But Dre is renowned. That's how he started his career.
Yeah. At the end of the day, if the correct people have been credited in that, it's not too much of a problem.
Yeah,
but the problems arise when people go, it's not a sample, I've written this, and then someone else in the Wormwood comes out and kind of goes, hang on a second, I also wrote this tune, and not only did I write this tune, but we talked about this tune in 2008 before both these tunes were written. It's a bit shady. So we don't know the full ins and outs. At the end of the day, like I say, the jury is out. He's been awarded like a share of something like
There's probably something in there. These guys aren't stupid.
They're not stupid. It's just about how fair it is, really, at the end of the day. Did they mean to do it? I don't think it sounds like it was done viciously.
Maybe there was something that.
Well, the whole point of this particular court case is that actually, when you actually look at the two songs next to each other, they don't sound anything alike. There's a slight musical idea, so that's I think what everyone's kind of up in arms about. At the end of the day, you can't string these two songs in particular very closely together. So why has this happened the way it has? But yeah, it's a tough world, is the music industry. It's the same with everything. People want money for the stuff that they've written.
But speaking of music, like we never do.
What is this idea you call music?
No, speaking of a band that you can't really rip off because they are too good. We're gonna play some Victory Lane.
Good old Victory Lane.
They've just brought out a new EP called Bare Bones. I think it came out. I could be wrong, but I think it's about a week ago, maybe a few days back. It is cool. It's this classic old pop punk, man, and yeah, if you're a fan of that stuff, check these guys out because these guys are great. This song's called Creative Control by Victory Lane. Check it out.
Creative control, you should only go to get me right where it hurts the most. A fatal attraction. Creative control is your only goal to get me right where it hurts the most. You might, we can't stay.
was good, man.
I love it.
They are good. It's got high energy.
Yeah, love Victory Lane then. Good guys as well. They're
Yeah, they are really sound guys.
long
too.
time friends.
Of rocks, actually.
Yeah, they've spent some time here.
Yeah.
Recorded here, rehearsed here.
They're cool.
Just-
I want to talk about something with you because we've both experienced this now, and it's been it's been in the air a little bit, but we haven't spoke about it directly yet. What did you think about The Lion King, man?
Okay, right.
Oh, come on, just give me the simple answer. Just give me the
No.
simple.
Okay, so bit of context. The Lion King, as in the original, with all the Matthew Broderick.
Great movie.
A fantastic film. Very near and dear, close to this young Andy's heart. Okay? Imagine me just wanting to be king, and I just can't wait to get there. And...
All right,
it's one of them. It's just such an emotional time.
I gotta go.
Spoilers, by the way, I guess, in case you've been under a rock for 20 odd years.
If you haven't seen The Lion King, what's going on? Let's have a chat.
Yeah, we need.
Let's talk about this
because you need to sort your life out.
Maybe you need to sort your circle of life out.
Get out. Okay, so coming at it from a film point of view, love the film. Film is fantastic.
Great.
It looks amazing.
It's a good so far, guys.
Good, most of the cast do a really good job. Glad they brought James Earl Jones back.
Yeah, I mean, who else really is going to play Mufasa?
Yeah, they make a few little tweaks and changes, but we won't go too into deep. But in terms of film, if you want a carbon copy that is brought into a new age, it's still.
It's pretty much there.
John
yeah,
Favreau does a great job directing.
he did do good.
I feel like he's had an easy job though, because I mean, this is just me not knowing anything about and how a film is made. But at the same time, you have got a film that is written.
He actually did say in an interview, I think it was with someone like IGN or something, that he said it was kind of hard because
we have to change it up, don't you?
Because with Jungle Book, when he did Jungle Book, he had a bit of leeway to play with. Obviously, the story's pretty much the same. The songs are pretty similar and things like that. But yeah, he had quite a lot to play with in this film. You can't really change The Lion King.
No,
great.
people kicked off that they didn't have the Be Prepared song in there, and then they
did
retroactively put it in. But we're not here to talk about films. We're not here to talk about how good a film is, how the lighting and direction. No, we're not nerds. Okay, we're here to talk about the music of the film, and my God, it's still very good.
Oh yeah,
Good old Mr. Hans Zimmer.
I really liked the use of voices.
Yeah, so
in this tune, in this movie, because it's almost almost like an orchestra voice.
Well, yeah, it's a very African kind of native feel.
It's
Everyone's
great.
so very clear, clearly to it. So all the composers, and again, it does take a lot of musical ideas from the original, but there's a few little kind of tweaks. I think everyone does a really solid job of revamping the new tune. So people, I actually think Circle of Life, the good old. That one.
Why on every song you demonstrate, you go, the good old, and then the head goes back?
Well, it's because I've got.
Is that the power?
It's the power.
Right.
I've got to direct it upwards into the stratosphere because
you want aliens to hear
I
you.
want aliens to hear me. So I think they brought the same guys in who did originally recorded that. Correct me if I'm wrong, YouTube and Spotify and iTunes. But so in terms of the actual music, can't really fault it. I have one gripe.
Oh no.
I have one thing. Beyonce.
Why? What's the problem with Beyonce?
Wasn't needed. She's clearly been brought in. You could have cast anyone as Nala. I could have done it. I could have made the old ooh, Simba, you've got to come and protect the Pride Lands. Dobby is a freaking elf. Sorry.
Master!
Harry Potter. Anyway, no, different film. I think personally that Beyonce, she came in and she Beyonce'd up the film. Now, Beyonce is a very good singer.
Did she?
Listen, so Beyonce is a very good singer. She's a very good actress. She was good in Dreamgirls and all the rest. All those Austin Powers Goldmember is a particular favourite film of mine. Fancy Cleopatra. But. So I'm not criticising Beyonce's acting or singing prowess. End of the day, Queen Bee still queen. So
Queen Bee still.
But in this film, wasn't needed. She came in.
So let's talk about this, right? So what do you mean? Because obviously she's not in every song.
No. So I'll explain. So obviously everyone who knows and has watched The Lion King, we know that after spoiler alert, Mufasa dies.
What did you just say?
Mufasa dies. Simba goes off. There's a whole Hakuna Matata, the old growing up with the head swish thing. And then Nala comes along and because she's come and she wants to bring him back, and she makes the whole googly eyes at him going, can you feel the love tonight? Yeah. So that's Beyonce. Now, for one, the fact that they brought Beyonce in, for me, is just clearly a bit of a cash grab. They've gone, Disney, you didn't need anyone to draw people into this film. You could have picked anyone. And listen to me. So, you could have picked anyone, so why Beyonce? I'll tell you why Beyonce. Because Beyonce got to put a new song in The Lion King, and it wasn't one of those ones that everyone likes from the musical. No. Beyonce came along and just wrote a pop song, and, well, Beyonce sung a pop song, and just...
When does that happen in the film?
That Spirit song?
That's not her song. She's just on it. She just runs on it every now and again. She's not singing the song.
She was in the charts under Beyonce.
Well, obviously it's going to be under Beyonce.
So it's a Beyonce.
But it's not a pop song, is it?
Is it like?
It's
not a pop. No, but hang on a second. Pop songs don't all go. Do they?
But it's not a pop song.
No, but it's a pop.
She didn't write. For starters, she didn't write the song.
Hang on, it doesn't matter about that.
No,
it's a Beyonce
hold
song.
on, that's not what you said. She definitely didn't write the song. She was literally singing about 4 lines on it.
Yeah, and I'm not saying no, but listen. So my argument isn't whether she was in the movie too much. I'm just saying they could have just done the same film, which is clearly what they were all going for. But what they did, they felt they need to make more money off it, so they've stuck a Beyonce song in there.
Oh,
it's a Beyonce song.
It's not a Beyonce song.
It is a Beyonce song.
No, it's not.
Google it.
I'm going to keep this
it.
casual and professional, but I'm going to Google it.
I don't care right now. We're going to Google it. Spirits by
Lion King
Beyonce.
2019 soundtrack.
Spirits by Beyonce. Google the Spirit song. Let's have a look.
I feel like it's going to be Mumbo Boy. Oh no.
No, that's a Wimbaway. We've both seen the film, and when Simba's running back, he's had to hold...
Yeah, but she is singing on it, but she's hardly singing.
Is she singing the Spirit song? Just because she doesn't sing the whole song.
Spirit by Beyonce. But it's not on the...
No, look at that face. Look at that face.
It's not on the soundtrack.
It's not on the soundtrack on Spotify, but is it in the film?
But I don't think it is in the film.
Yes, it is. We've both seen the film. We both saw the bit where he's running across the sand dunes after he's having his thing with Mufasa in the clouds and Rafiki running through the forest. He runs back.
Hold on. Let's find out then. Let's look at the track list in order, shall we?
Oh my God, I'm going to have a heart attack.
Lion King 2019 soundtrack.
I'm gonna have...
Because the soundtrack is the one that's in fact, actually, while we're doing this, I've got the IMDb app. That will tell us the truth.
IMDb never lies.
I hate it when you see trailers for movies and like it's obviously fake.
Yeah,
I was going to check on IMDb.
Yeah, a fan-made one.
Yeah.
One eternity later.
That's the face of he is wrong. This face,
Hold
for
on.
all our audio listeners.
No, but in performance, in terms of performance, the top one isn't Beyonce.
It doesn't matter.
So it's not a Beyonce song.
What are you talking about? No, because now what you're doing is just talking rubbish.
Let me play it.
Okay, so what we're talking about for all the audio listeners, idiot.
Audio idiots. For all you audio idiots.
For all you audio listeners, what we've just found out is that Will is wrong.
Nah,
and he's made that face
hang on a second.
that you'll be able to see on YouTube.
Hang on a second. Because there's... Does that sound like Beyonce? Does that sound like Beyonce?
Hang on, she might not be the only singer on it. That does. Listen, I'm not fussed about you being right or wrong.
But I don't remember it being like a proper...
No. So it's not like they don't take the whole song and drop it in the middle. So what we were talking about is the fact that they've wanted to make a bit of a cash grab off having Beyonce there. And my argument
they did.
But listen, because my argument is that they didn't need to do that. At the end of the day, this film was always going to draw a lot of money.
All right, I'm going to talk about it now. I want to talk about my argument here. I think that I do think that Beyonce didn't need to sing as much.
She was Beyonceing over... Okay. Just Beyonce'd over it.
I'm not finished.
I'm not finished.
I think that she might have been a teeny tiny bit overused. Right, okay, I can reason with you on that. But a lot of people had problems with the casting. Now, like, I think that Seth Rogen and Billie Eilish are one of the best comedy duos, and they got. Seth Rogen, but Billie Eilish actually really surprised me with how good of a voice he had.
Yeah.
So that was great. Donald Glover, man, as Simba was fantastic.
Donald Glover /
completely overlooked.
Mr. Childish Gambino. No, I'm not overlooking him. I think he's done a really good job. But we were talking about things we had a problem with. So, Childish Gambino, Mr. / Donald Glover, jumping on the old Disney train.
It was great.
Good. Love it. Great. And everyone else.
But I thought Beyonce's acting was great.
There was 2 lines I had a problem with her acting, and I'm not saying like, and I feel like that she like it probably just took me out of the film because it was like, oh, this isn't a line, this is Beyonce in a sound booth. There's one thing, she went, "Are you with me, lions?" And I was like, I could imagine her literally saying that on stage, like being all, "Are you with me, lions? Who run the world? Lions. Who run the world? Lions." Like, that's what I felt like was going to happen. I felt like it was literally like, "Oh, the single lions," like all that's going to come up. And then she came in and then she was all like, "Lions attack!" And it was just it made me cringe a little bit. Now, I'm not saying that's...
But is that because of the dialogue?
No, yes, exactly. What I'm saying isn't the fact that the problem with the dialogue, it's just that they had to Beyonce so hard.
They didn't!
They did!
They didn't!
They Beyonce so hard! Okay, so I think what we're going to have to do is agree to disagree here.
I think Beyonce was great.
I didn't like her, not as a person or as a singer, just in terms of the casting. You
can't win here, guys.
It's up to you now, Mr. Listener, Mrs. Listener, Mr. and Mrs. Watcher, to settle the argument. Drop us what you thought in the comments. If you haven't seen the film, go and see it because it is good. Enjoyed it greatly.
Right, okay, we've got another West Midlands band to play now. They're called Straight for the Sun. They're great guys, really, really lovely guys. And this song's called Siren. And it's just a powerful rock song, man. Like, I don't know, they're combining like kind of like modern elements with like the classic rock kind of vibe.
Bringing that old and new, smushing them together,
I think,
makes something beautiful.
Callum, who's the vocalist, he's kind of got like a Corey Taylor-y kind of, I don't know, 90s rock voice, and it's cool, man. I don't really know anybody else who can sing like that. So, Callum, if you're watching, you sound awesome in this song. This song is called Sirens. That was really cool. I really like that
good
tune.
stuff.
Yeah, like high energy again. I just want to bring up something real quick. Something cool's happening. Something very cool's happening. I don't know if we can't talk about it yet.
We're not going to talk about it right now, but before we sign off this podcast, we have to announce there's another episode of this podcast coming with our very first special guest.
We do have it. We do have a special guest. I think this might be cool. Actually, should we throw it out? If anybody can guess who the mystery guest is going to be,
So do let us know if you can guess who's going to be on our show. Now, bear in mind, we're still a little operation. It's not going to be Beyonce,
but
sore topic right now.
should we throw in a couple of clues? Yeah, I'm going to throw in a couple of clues.
Okay.
Are they a top 10 Billboard charter?
They could be.
It could be. Have they toured with the likes of Foo Fighters, Rolling Stones, and got huge festival slots?
Probably. Either way, we've got some very exciting stuff happening in the pipeline for us later on.
So you guys need to check that out. Oh, comment down below who you think it might
put
be.
those guesses in. If you get it right,
We'll give you a shout out in the next podcast. We'll shout you out.
we'll shout you out. As usual, guys, thanks very much for having us. We have been the ROXCast. Please make sure you drop us a like and subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes and Spotify. Make sure you share it with all your friends. Anyone who thinks that anyone who you think is going to enjoy what we do here.
And if you're into music and you want to hear us talk about music some more, share it. Share it on your favourite social media platforms like Facebook, Twitter,
Instagram. You'll be able to hit us up on all of these. But for now, thanks very much. We'll see you soon. Peace out.
Peace.